Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Today, we'll wait a chance for everyone to log in here. Today, we're going to be chatting about buying properties in the US, right? The United States of America. Um, I'm just messaging the team, making sure everyone can hear and see me. We're live on multiple platforms here, so I want to make sure we're all good to go. So let me know about the chat. Let me know if you have any questions. If you're watching this after the fact, if you're watching the recording again, please just put the question in the chat and we can answer it as well. So it doesn't matter if you're live or not. Definitely ask away. But today we'll be chatting about how to purchase real estate in the US, whether you are a Canadian, just like Mel and I. Sorry, I'm just writing to the team. Yeah, whether you're in Canada. So if you're in Canada looking at buying in the US, which honestly, more and more, because Mel and I talk to people all the time, right? We talk to people, private lenders, people that are looking at getting started, right? With our Action Family Mentoring program, where we show people just to do like Mel and I do, right? Buy real estate with other people's money and creative financing and no joint venture partners. No JVs. Very, very important. Okay. Solely own the asset. I was talking to the lawyers yesterday about that as well. Because Mel and I lend out mortgages, right? And they were just, there's people, there was two or three people we were going to give a mortgage to. They're a joint venture. And yeah, people, there's so many things about JVs that people don't know, the legalities behind it, and they think that they're more secure. They are not. Anyway, that's a whole other rant. But yeah, buying in the US. So I speak with a lot of people in Canada or in the US, or even, you know what, people not even in North America. I speak with them about purchasing real estate in the US. Um, and it seems like a lot of people are gravitating to it, and I don't blame them, right? So, for example, like Mel and I are still buying in Canada, right? Or we'll always be buying in Canada, but we are starting to buy more and more in the U.S. Primarily, we're in three different states. We are in Texas, Ohio, and Florida. Here, I want to share a link with you guys. Texas, Ohio, and Florida. Here, I should have had that before. And basically, what was I going to say? We picked those three states because, in my opinion, they are investor friendly and landlord friendly, right? What do I mean by landlord friendly? You actually have a little bit more rights, meaning, you know, if you're having issues, you can actually do something with your income property, right? Where you're not as handcuffed as other states, for example. Investor friendly, right? It's taxes. It blows my mind that a lot of investors don't think about taxes. Okay, taxes is such a huge component to real estate investing, right? This can be like taxes, and whether it's, you know, obviously taxes to the government, right? The CRA or the IRS. Property taxes is a whole other ball of wax, but it's you can make a bunch of money, but if you don't keep it, what's the point, right? You worked hard just to give it to the government. I don't know. I'm not interested in that. I don't know if you are. Probably not, right? Um, but if you are buying in the US as a Canadian, there are different rules, right? Like there's different setups. There's different, and depending on, you know, what you're buying and where you're buying and what you got going on in Canada, if you are Canadian, there's different structures, right? There's different things. For example, are you buying in an LLC? Are you buying in an LP, right? Limited partnership. What's your GPLP structure? Okay. Are you buying in a C Corp? Are you buying in an S Corp? As Canadians, we can't use S Corps. Like there's so many different things. What are you using back in Canada to buy that? Are you using your personal name? Are you using an asset corp? Are you using a holdco? Like, again, as I'm talking here, I'm not trying to stress you guys out or make you worried, like, oh my gosh, Dave, all that sounds so complicated. It's not, once you understand it, right? And that's why Mel and I like to utilize the appropriate lawyers, attorneys, accountants, and CPAs who structure us properly. Because, like I said, we're Canadian. I live in North Bay, Ontario, Canada. No one knows where that is. We're like 50,000 people. It's basically 3.5 hours north of Toronto, just to give you a landmark. And we're able to buy right from the laptop that I'm talking to you on. Texas, Florida, Ohio. Okay. And I'll share my screen a little bit because I want to show you guys some AI components as to how to find deals. That's one of the biggest things as well. People, whether you're in the US or you're in Canada and you are looking at finding deals, That's one of the biggest things. People are always like, how do I find deals? How do I find deals? Okay, and I'll show you how Mel and I do it using an AI app. I'll share my screen in a little bit here. It's actually Mel and I are doing a soft launch right now. We actually have our own. We've met with developers and we've created our own AI app on how to find real estate in the U.S. Okay, so I'll share my screen a little bit. We'll chat about that as well. If you are interested in analyzing deals and all that with us, we go live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's the link that I have below me here, the I Love OPM/web class to register. Even if you cannot make it, if you register, you will receive our first Amazon best-selling book. Okay, so just so you guys know as well. So buying in the U.S., what I meant earlier by taxes and investor-friendly states. So let's just talk taxes, something that you would never really think about, okay? And let's just compare Texas and Florida. Because when you're buying an asset, and I'm not a CPA, again, do not take this as tax advice, please. 100% do not take this as tax advice. But when I'm speaking with the CPAs in the U.S. and we're looking at depreciation, accelerated depreciation, bonus depreciation, all of those things, which again we don't have in Canada. There's a lot of different tax incentives and depreciation incentives in the U.S. That Canada just does not have, unfortunately, and that's why I think more and more people are flocking to the U.S. But for example, when you're looking at that and you're meeting with the CPAs, land in Texas, right? Because the assets, anyway, things are different with the asset and the actual land. But in Texas, the land might be cheaper than, let's say, for example, in Florida. So if you're looking from a tax perspective, they'll have different plays, and those are different things that people look at as well. Other things that I see buying in the U.S. Let's say you are Canadian or you are from Mexico or wherever. Let's say you're not a U.S. citizen, or you don't have a visa. Basically, if you don't have a SSN, right, a social security number, when you buy in the U.S., just like Mel and I, as foreign nationals, your loan to value may be lower. Meaning, I'm making it up here. Let's say on $1 million purchase or on $100,000 purchase, I'm just using easy numbers here. If a U.S. citizen might get, 80% or 75%, right? Easy math, right? On $1 million, that's 750, or on 100,000, that's 75K, right? But that's 75 or 80% loan to value. Whereas let's say a foreign national might get 65, 70, right? So the place we closed in Florida last month in December, as a foreign national, Mel and I received oh, that's funny. One of our, I'm actually getting a call from one of the attorneys in the U.S. here. It's funny. She's someone that's gonna be helping us with our E2 visa. Isn't that weird how the universe works? I'll call her back. But yeah, too funny. What was I going to say as I'm talking about the U.S.? Where was I going with this? I forget where I was going with this. That's why you shouldn't look at your phone when you're on a live. But where I was going with this is, as a foreign national, again, sometimes lenders, and I like using DSCR lenders, right? Debt service coverage ratio lenders, which in my opinion, guys, this is they're asset-based lending, equity-based lending, okay? And please, anything I say here is not legal advice. It is not accounting advice. It's just Mel and I's experience. Anything that goes on with you might be different, okay? 100%. You might get different financing. You might get different XYZ. This is just as per Mel and I's different experiences, okay? So do not take it as legal or accounting advice. I cannot stress that enough. But debt service coverage ratio, or DSCR loans, that's what we're looking at, right? We like getting those where, again, I'm not saying, I'm just giving you in general from experience, they look at the asset first. So when I qualified, let's just use my Florida deal that I just closed in December. They did not necessarily, did they pull my credit? I don't even think they did. Did they pull our credit? We were working on that one for a while. So it was months and months, because this one's a pre-construction. So it might have done some work earlier on in the year to get ready for financing at the end of the year. But I honestly don't think they actually even really pulled up too much, because they were lending on the asset itself, okay? And they were giving us 65 cents on the dollar. So think about that. As a lender, let's say you're a U.S. lender. Why do they do this? Okay, why are they okay with not necessarily looking at you to qualify for the debt? Because I know we all think of traditional financing. You walk into the bank, hey, how much do I qualify for? They run your credit, they run your income, they run your expenses. They look at your total debt service ratio, meaning how many dollars come in, how many dollars go out. They look at your TDSR, total debt service ratio, and TDI, total debt to income. So they look at you and they say, okay, your T4 job, your W2 job, if you're in the US, your 1099, whatever, your income coming in is X amount. And then all of your bills are X amount, right? And they have certain ratios. And that's when they say you qualify for this. They are literally taking, hey, this is the income and these are the expenses. How much more expenses can we actually add in there before your ratios don't make sense? And that's how they reverse engineer. Hey, you qualify for another $200,000 house or another $400,000 house. It's literally adding that to your expenses and seeing if your ratios still make sense. I'm not a mortgage broker. I'm just giving you a general breakdown or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Now, DSCR loans, like I said, which I love using in the US, they don't necessarily do that. And every lender is different. Some of them might look at this or that or not look at this or that. Okay. So just to be completely honest with you, and you'll see some people anyway. But what they're looking at and what this allows you to do is, as long as the deal makes sense, meaning as long as the asset itself has enough income to support the debt, right? The DSCR loans, the debt servicing, meaning paying back the mortgage, the debt. As long as it has certain ratios, they'll give you up to a certain maximum. Okay, so let's just break it down. So in the US, let's say I buy $100,000 place. And you're like, Dave, that doesn't exist. Yes, it does. Ohio, very cheap. Okay. I bought a triplex last summer, $72,000 for a triplex in Akron, Ohio. Yes, it does exist. Okay. Now, that being said, how would that work? A DSCR loan in the US, how would that work? So what they would do is, okay, you're buying a $100,000 asset. They're looking at giving you 65% loan to value. So $65,000. Okay. So they'll run the numbers with the amount of rent coming in and the mortgage for $65K plus all the other, expenses, utilities, or, whether you pay it or the tenants pay it. That's a deal by deal scenario. They will look to see if the asset's income will cover the expenses. And I'm just going over this very quickly. Okay. If you join our webinar tonight at 8 p.m., Mel and I actually break down, I think, about 4 or 5 deals, Canada, US, and Costa Rica as well. We show you a flip we did in Costa Rica. We're actually going to show you the more the math, the breakdown. So that's how you would get into a deal, and that's how they calculate it. So they'll give you $65,000 on that $100,000 purchase as long as those ratios are there. Now, and there's a whole other thing of sometimes lenders won't lend unless it is a $100,000 loan, which is a whole other ball of wax, which is something you encounter in Ohio a lot, right? Because they want to do certain amount minimums, meaning, again, if they're going to do X amount of work, they want to make sure that they're lending out maybe $100K minimum, right? So again, that's a whole other thing that people deal with in Ohio and that Mel and I've had to deal with as well. What else do I want to cover on? My phone's just lighting up here. What else do I want to cover? If you guys have questions as well, please do not be shy. Put them in the chat about buying real estate in the US. Whether you are a US citizen, okay, because we have a lot of Action family members that are US citizens, or if you are a Canadian buying in the US, let us know as well. Or even if, like, I've got members in the Action family that live in Mexico and they're buying in, is it Arizona or Nevada? Doesn't matter. They're buying in the US. So again, whether you are a US citizen or you are a foreign national like Mel and I, buying in the US, just let me know if you have questions. That's also things that we teach inside the Action family as well, that we go over. So let me know if you have any questions. Now, I did want to start sharing my screen because I do have, Mel and I are launching, here, let me put it in here. We did launch our AI app. Here, I want you guys to check it out. Copy link. I should have had all this ready, but I don't. Today I was talking with, oh my gosh, I've talked to appraisers, I've talked to accountants, I've talked to property managers. So there is the link for our new AI app that basically shows, it helps you find deals using artificial intelligence in the US. And that's what I'm going to start talking about right now. So go check it out. But let me share my screen. Actually, let me make sure I'm logged in first. Make sure I'm logged in so you guys aren't stuck. Okay, there we go. So share screen. I'm just going to do a quick overview. I'm going to have other webinars on this, but I just want to show you the power of the AI. Share screen. Okay. Let me know if you can see, please, and thank you in the chat. Let me know if you can see. But basically, here it is. So deals, action, profit, okay, as you can see. So let's get into it. Leads, property leads. Let's start out with, you know what, let's just do Cleveland. Cleveland. No, I did not spell that correctly. Cleveland. Let's just find it. Ohio. Boom. All right. And here we're going to use some AI. Actually, I should make sure. You guys are all good. You can see it. You'll let me know. Okay. If you can't see it, let me know. But literally, we're going to use AI and we're going to look at different things. Okay. So if you're using creative financing like Mel and I do, what am I looking for? I want people that own the property free and clear or have high equity. Why? Because I want seller financing. That is my favorite. So free and clear, high equity, vacancy. You know what? Okay, that's good enough. Free and clear, no. Does it have anything else there? High equity. Oh my gosh, look at that. Free and clear. Okay, let's see. What if it's just free and clear? Yeah, look at all that. Oh my gosh. So look at all the properties that are free and clear here. Okay. And again, think about this. You may not understand creative financing as we speak right now, but that's something that Mel and I show. So all of these properties are free and clear. Okay. Think about that. So they are sitting on a place that has no mortgage. And why does that matter to you? Because if you come along, right, and give them a down payment, either you can do a wrap mortgage, either you can do a sub two, either you can do a seller finance deal. But let's just go through it. And here up top, these are actual deals that you have that are from the wholesales. Okay, so there's some wholesales going on. These are wholesalers where you can contact them directly. Okay, but again, I'll touch more on this inside of our actual webinar. So let me just play Cleveland, and look what it'll show you. So yes, it clicked off the free and clear. Absentee owner. Let's see what else we got. Absentee owner, board, right? This is using AI to come up with this. Cash buyer, free and clear. You know what? Okay, so cool. Let's click on something like this. And so look at this. You can actually go in, and these are things that again is using AI. Okay, I can't describe it. I'll get more into detail about this. But these are using AI, and these are the sellability scores, which I'll touch on later. But literally, you're able to go in, you're able to look at comps, property details. You can use Google search. Okay. So it's really, really cool. You know what? Let me go back because I want to touch on this. Let's look at the filters. I want to use AI, artificial intelligence. I want to make sure everyone can still see my screen. Okay. So I want to use artificial intelligence to tell me what the, sellability score is. What does that mean? This is using 40 years of data. This is using billions of touch points. Retail, what does retail mean? This means if it was to go to the MLS, in the next 90 days, are they typically going to go to the MLS in the next 90 days? Okay, show me a minimum of at least 700. It goes to 1,000. 1,000 is the maximum. Okay. So there's some there. This is rental score. What is the likelihood that this deal will get sold to a landlord like me, someone who wants to rent it out, or maybe it already is a rental, or it's in an area that has a lot of income properties, rental properties around it. So you know what? I want something that's at least 700 rental score. Searching. What do we narrow it down here to? See, we're down to like 3,900. Didn't we have like 100,000? Good. We're narrowing it down. Or if I'm a wholesaler, I want at least 700 score out of the 1,000. All right. So we've narrowed it down to 2,800, which is still a lot. But now I'm literally looking at deals that have a score. Cash buyer, free and clear, delinquency, vacant. Like, look at this. Absentee owner, cash buyer. So they'll take cash for a deal. It's free and clear. They're already delinquent on their taxes and it's vacant. So the seller might want to get rid of this deal, right? You know what I mean? And this is what it shows me. Okay. Here's what it would go for, retail. This is if they sell it on the MLS. This is what I could possibly get if wholesale, if I'm a wholesaler. So this one, it looks like 825, right? Very likely to sell to a landlord. Guess who's a landlord? This guy, okay? And then I get to know different things. Equity, 100%, right? It is completely paid off. So now I get to see when I contact this person, I'm like, hey, I know you have this building completely paid off. Are you willing to hold seller financing for me? I already know that's a fact. That's already coming into my negotiations. Okay. Blah blah blah. What else? Absentee owner, property insight, house style. It's a Cape Cod style. Okay, cool. All this other stuff. Anyway, a lot of different information here that you can go through. Okay, so it's really, really cool what you can do with this. Again, it's using AI, and you can just keep narrowing it down, right? Even if you want to filter down even more. What else do I want? Property type. Okay, what about multifamily? And in this one, it means 4 units and under. All right, how many are left here? So 1,500. So think about a guy like me. That triplex that I told you I just bought last year for $72,000 in Akron, Ohio. Now I can narrow it down. Okay, so if you're a multifamily guy like me, okay, I want to buy a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex. Let's check it out here. Okay, so I want to buy a multifamily. I want there to lot, bathrooms, all of that stuff. Liens. I know that if someone has a lien on their property, they are most likely going to want to sell. Okay, what type of lien? Assignment of rents. This means whoever has the mortgage has now taken the asset over again, and the assignment of rents. So basically, let's say if a bank takes back a mortgage, they serve papers to the tenants. They assign the rent, saying, no, do not pay the owner anymore. We hold the mortgage on the property. Pay the rents. Assign the rents over to me. That's what that means. Is there a judgment? Is there an HOA? Did they not pay their homeowners association, right? They can put a lien, a mechanics lien. This is like if a contractor did work, they did a roof and they didn't pay. A government lien, right? A utility, the utility company. What was I going to say? The utility company, did they not pay their bills? And now they have that, right? Probate, divorce, like what type of liens are you looking for? Okay. Owner type. Do you want to go after the mom and pops, individuals? Do you want to go after someone that, is a business, an LLC, an LP, like whatever corp they have, an S corp, C corp? Do you want something that's in a trust? Do you want something that's back with the banks? You can literally specify it all. Mortgage. Okay, this one is obviously completely paid off, but let's say you wanted to do a seller finance deal and you know that you want them to hold a second mortgage. You want them to hold at least 20 or 25 or 35% second mortgage down payment. Well, in order to do so, they need to have a loan to value that is smaller than that. You can literally customize it. Okay. Whoops. What am I doing here? Don't be clicking around here, Dave. You guys can still see? Okay, good. Let me know if you can't see, please. The other thing, listing information. It'll show if it's listed with the MLS or if it's expired or if it's sold. Anyway, tons and tons and tons of information that you can. So this is also linked with the MLS, right? Owner. Okay, where is it? It'll tell you if it's listed or not. Look at this little place. 825 rental, absentee owner, mechanic lien, delinquency tax, free and clear, active listing. So this one is listed on the MLS. Okay, so it's listed on the MLS. Ooh, 411 over value. Deals action profit value. So this is an estimate, guys. I know Deals Action Profit is the brand that we have. This is a estimate. Do not take that as to 100%, okay? Again, so you're able to see Google, add to my leads, Google results. It even brings you to Google, walk around, go check it out. Hopefully you guys can still see this. It's okay. Can you guys still see my screen here that I'm sharing? No, you guys cannot see my other screen. Okay, so never mind. I'm on Google Earth, but it doesn't matter. You guys can't see that screen. Okay, but just some cool stuff, right? So now let's go to properties. I just added this one to my leads. I thought I did. Let me go back here. Leads, property leads. What did I have again? Cleveland, Ohio. There you are. Because I know a lot of people are looking in Ohio. And what did I have again? Free and clear. Okay. Boom. So let's go here. And then let's see. Which one do I want to click on? I know we had narrowed it down, but I just want to give you guys an example. Okay, cool. Click on this one, add to my list. Okay. So let's go to properties. And this is just a demo account, right? Why is it not adding it to my properties? I wonder if it's because it's a demo account. Anyway, with here, you can usually see it in my properties. property leads. So you know what? And this is why it is a soft launch, because there's going to be little things like this that we need to make sure to go through. So free and clear, search. So if we go here, my leads, okay, my leads, I've got 2 of them. So I put those 2 in there, absentee owner. So as you can see, it keeps it, right? And it's saved here, save to CRM. Okay, good. Okay, good. So here it is. That's why, Dave, I didn't do that step. So now that I'm in here, okay, so I looked at some properties. I'm interested in them, and this is going to go to my scrub list. Okay, so in my properties, there are those properties. Well, it's the same 2 properties double here. Hopefully you guys can still see my screen. Yes, you can. Okay, so now I found some properties using AI. Amazing, right? Okay, I know that they're delinquent on their taxes. I know they're delinquent on, they have a mechanic lien, so they've not paid a contractor. I know that it's free and clear. I know that it's vacant. So these people are, well, they're not necessarily bleeding because they don't have a mortgage, but they're also not getting any income. And I know that they are board owners, right? So now I'm going to start looking at different things. Let's say I take this one, click on it. Okay, here is the other thing. Guys, this is game changer. Hopefully you guys can still see my screen. And again, I know if you're watching on your phone, it might not be the best user interface, but here's where you can start to do different things, okay? You can look at comps. Okay, who here is a real estate agent, right? I am technically in the province of Ontario and in the province of Alberta, but I'm not in the US. So to look at comps in the United States, I would need to find a agent who is actually licensed in the state that I'm looking in, and I would need to ask them to pull comps on the MLS, right? Is that a 24-hour turnaround? Is that a 1-week turnaround? You know, all that kind of things. Now I can actually look at comps, right? I can literally comp out the property right here in evaluation. Repairs. Whoops. Actually, let's go on this one. Repair estimator. Okay. So here is, you can actually go through, let's create it. Repair estimate name, one. Actually, let's go back. You know what? I wonder if I want to use it or not. Maybe I won't do it on this one. I'll do it on one of our webinars, but you can literally go in here and do a repair estimate, meaning it's linked up with Home Depot, right, throughout the nation. So it gives you nationwide kind of averages. So you're able to go in and build out some repairs, build out some evaluations, analyze the property. You're also able to, here, let me stop sharing my screen so you guys can see me. But all of those things, and I know it's kind of hard because this isn't a webinar just for that. I know I wanted to go over quickly on how to buy deals in the US. But if you are interested, literally, guys, that app, and I know it's not the best sharing it on a phone, that app will be able to help you. So like I said, you're able to find information about the property. Like, let's say you are taking over, like if you're doing a wrap mortgage, okay? If you're doing a sub 2 or wrap mortgage, which in Canada is called AFS, agreement for sale. If you're taking over that loan amount or that payment, you know, you want to see what type, you can actually see what type of loan they have. You can see what the interest rate is. You can see how much time is left. So let's say I'm taking over a property from someone else in whatever, Cleveland, Ohio, Texas, wherever it is in the US. I always talk about those three states because that's where Mel and I invest. With this app, using AI and the information, right, you can see how much they have left on their mortgage, what type of interest rate, what type of, is it a balloon payment? Like what kind of structure their actual mortgage is, okay? Like, so when I'm negotiating, and I like putting all my deals in the cash flow analysis matrix, now I know, hey, if I'm going to take over your payments, let's just make it up. Let's say I'm taking over your mortgage, and you stay on the debt, you stay on title, you stay on debt because I'm doing a wrap mortgage, for example, right? Meaning I don't own it, but I control the asset. I know that you're paying, I'm making this up. I know because of our Deals Action Profit AI app, I know that this seller has, I don't know, 2% mortgage, 2% interest rate, 3% interest rate. Let's use 3.5, okay? 3.5% interest rate. Okay. So every month they're paying, P&I, principal and interest, on a made up scenario, 3.5% interest rate. Okay. Now when I'm underwriting my deal, I know they have to make money. They have to make a spread. They have to make money on the deal every single month, right? That's why they're doing it. They're making it a win-win. You're probably going to give them a down payment to get into the deal. And then monthly, you give them a monthly payment. They pay their bills, and then there's a spread. So when I'm underwriting the deal, knowing that they pay 3.5% interest, principal and 3.5, interest on a principal and interest loan, maybe I'll offer you 3.75, 4%. And this is where I can reverse engineer and underwrite my deal accordingly to know what can this deal actually support. And that's where I can go back to them and say, hey, I know you're paying 3.5. I have the information. I have the data. I know you have whatever amount left on your mortgage. Okay. So when I'm negotiating every month, I know your payment is this, right? I can offer you a down payment of this amount, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, whatever the deal makes sense. And I'm just talking in general now. I can offer you this down payment to take over your deal. And every single month, I know you're paying, I don't know, $500 to the bank for everything. And I can offer you 600. So you're making $100 every month. And guys, I'm making this up. You can make $100 every month on your mortgage payment or over and above your mortgage payment. Plus you get a down payment. I saw your building is vacant. I saw you have tax liens. I'll clear all that up. Again, I'm not saying every deal is going to be like this, but you can literally come to them. And this is what I love about seller financing. Well, actually, two things. People always think that creative financing and seller financing is only for deals where people are upside down or people are in trouble. Okay. And that may be the case. Those deals that I was showing you earlier, absentee, vacancy, delinquent on their tax bills, construction liens, all of that, they're in trouble. They're upside down. They're in trouble. Okay. I shouldn't say they're upside down. Upside down is when you owe more than the property's worth, but they have it free and clear. Like, so sometimes you are saving someone from a situation with creative financing, right? And you're able to find that, hey, and then we'll show you how to find the information as well through the Deals Action Profit app that we have, right? The software that we've designed with the developers. We'll be able to show you how to find their information through skip tracing, okay? And you can come to them with a solution. Hey, I know you have, excuse me. I know that your payment is this. You have a construction lien. I'll make all of this go away. I'll pay you this amount every month, right? Because you know you're going to rent it out for more. And but I want to take over the asset, either through a wrap mortgage, a sub-2, a seller financing deal, whatever it is. I can make all of this go away, and here's a solution. Okay, it's also going to help them tax-wise, so you're able to build something out where it's actually going to be beneficial for everyone. The other thing too, even if it's because I showed you earlier, some of the deals were on. Let me see here. Let me just get it here. Let me share my screen. Where'd it go? The other thing too, here, share my screen, Deals Action Profit, the DAP. Okay, you guys can see it. So again, back to the leads, right? Property leads. Where would you like? Let's just keep picking on Cleveland. Where are you? Did I spell it right? Cleveland, Ohio. Let's pick on you. Okay. So I wanted free and clear, right? Absentee owners. What else do I want here? Free and clear. Look at that. 37,000 absentee owners, free and clear, delinquent on their tax. What else do I want to add here? Vacant. Okay. And if you don't know what it means, guys, there's a little tab here that shows you vacancy means this. Okay. So now we're down to about 1,800 properties. We've narrowed it down to 1,800 properties. Okay. Again, wholesale. So there's some wholesale deals that you can access, the wholesale network. Okay. Here, right? I want to keep looking. Let's keep going through condo, multifamily. You know, I could have filtered this down. What I want or what I don't want. Property features, ownership, mortgage. Okay. Anyway, I'll do that after. But what I'm getting at here is, okay, here are all off-listed deals. Off-listed deals, absentee. Where am I looking for? Absentee owner. Actually, filters. No, that's not what I wanted. Yeah. Deal alerts, expo, my leads. But what I was looking for here is, where'd it go? Cash buyer, absentee. Yeah, rental. It's telling you what you can rent it for, what you can wholesale it for. There's just so many deals, right? Absentee owner, cash buyer, free and clear, vacancy. Remember how we had narrowed it down earlier with the higher scores? Because these are kind of lower, right? Like 618. I want something like 539. They're not going to hold. 815. They're going to sell it to a renter, right? They're most likely in the next 90 days. But yeah, I forget what I was trying to show you guys. But yeah, as you can see, guys, like there's so many different ways to find the deals, and that's the beauty of it is you truly narrow it down. Which is super cool. So anyways, tonight we have a webinar. Mel and I, we go live. We're going to be showing you how to buy properties in the US if you're interested as a Canadian or as a US citizen or as a foreign national. Okay, so we'll definitely be showing you that. The other thing too, we'll show you how to do it with creative financing, other people's money, and no joint venture partners. Okay. You know what? On the JV thing, let's talk about this. This is why Mel and I do not do JVs. Okay. We want to be able to control the asset ourselves. We don't want to have to partner up and share money. And something that I'll hear, how do I dive into this? Something that I do here, and I know it's not Canada or the US, okay? It's just kind of in general with JVs. So, and do not take this as legal advice. I cannot stress this enough. I am not a lawyer. I am not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. I have 0 letters after my name. I'm a real estate investor with experience, and I talk to lawyers and attorneys all the time. And it came up because Mel and I, we were looking at holding a mortgage for someone, for a group of individuals who are doing a joint venture. There's 3 individuals, okay? And what I said to the lawyers was, well, I guess they're doing it because they want to compartmentalize their loss, meaning, what do we want to use? Let's say $300,000. Let's say Mel and I were going to hold a $300,000 mortgage. People would typically think, oh, well, if it's a joint venture of 3 people and something goes wrong, this one, JV partner number, I'll just call them number 1 will owe 100, number 2 will owe 100, number 3 will owe 100. That's why people do JVs, because they think, oh, I just deferred my risk, right? I'm only on the hook for a third or whatever. I'm in a group of 5, a fifth. And the lawyers explained, and again, guys, this is not legal advice. The lawyers explained to me, if you hold a mortgage for someone and they do a personal guarantee, which Mel and I personally guarantee all our debt, and depending on the mortgage and how it's structured, and I'm going to butcher the wording here because, again, every province, every state, every country will be different. But there's like jointly and, oh gosh, what's several? I don't know, guys, meaning together and different. They might be on the hook for that debt together or separately. I'll just explain it like they explain it to me, right? Like a 5th grader. So meaning, let's say you have 3 joint venture partners and they owe $300,000. It does not mean 100, 100, 100. It can mean, hey, what's the low-hanging fruit? You guys are all equally responsible for it and all individually responsible for it. So who's the low-hanging fruit? Hey, you've got assets and income and all that. I might take the $300,000 from you. And then it's your problem to go after the other 2. So when people say, oh, JVs is safer, how? How is it safer? The debt is the same. They can go after you for the entire debt, right? Again, not legal advice. I'm just saying from my experience, from what I've been told. And you have to now decide with other people, right? You have to make decisions with other people, which at the end of the day, I talk to people all the time, and people who do joint ventures will come to Mel and I because we don't do them. And they'll say, Mel, Dave, I'm coming to you now because I tried JVs, right? We wanted to do it, but we got in an argument. We got in a lawsuit. At the end of the day, when you have a party over here and a party over here, and they have conflicting interests, which who doesn't? These people here have a family and these people here have a family, and that's who comes first, right? So at some point, when they're looking at the trajectory of the deal, at some point there's going to be a difference. At some point, one person's going to want to sell, one person's going to want to refinance, one person is going to want to spend X amount into a unit, one person is not going to want to. One person is going to say, I'm okay with renting to this person. One person's going to say no. These are the stories that I hear, right? So whether you're buying in Canada or US or anywhere, that's why Mel and I don't do JVs, because of all of the what I just mentioned. Also, the fact is, in my opinion, it's not any safer or any more risk adverse. Anyway, rant over, guys. If you're interested in learning how, join our webinar tonight. Here, Mel and I will analyze. We'll go over the 4 different types of creative financing that we do. We'll analyze about 4 or 5 deals. we will, what was I going to say? Yeah, the 4 different types of creative financing. We'll analyze 4 or 5 deals. And even if you can't make it, like if you're saying, Dave, tonight at 8 p.m., I've got XYZ. Cool. Cool. It doesn't matter if you can't make it. Watch, you'll get the replay. We'll send you the replay, right? Within 24 hours, the team will send you the replay. The other beautiful thing is we will also send you a ebook, our first, we've got a couple now, our first Amazon best-selling book. So why not? You get the replay, you'll get some knowledge for free. You'll definitely walk away being smarter, in my opinion, and have some more, your development will be higher. And you'll get our Amazon best-selling book that we wrote after the car crash. So anyways, see you guys there at the webinar tonight. If you're interested in anything else, the Deals Action Profit, the AI app, it's unreal how much it can do. And maybe when I do the next webinar, I'll actually log into mine instead of the demo one. But yeah, I'll see you guys there. And